Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Welcome to Saints TV Weekly for August 8th, 2022. Obviously it's Monday and the weekend's just gone and we played football, if you want to call it. We played Geelong down at GMHBA Stadium, the Cattery, a place that we have not won since 1999, and unfortunately that record still stands. Geelong got the job done by a comfortable 45 points. My review of that game is already out on the channel, so if you're interested in that, you can watch that after this video. But a quick summary is Geelong, although missing Dangerfield, Selwood, Blixarves, you name it, Gary Rowan, a lot of their starting 22 players, they were still comfortably a level or two above us, and they got the job done 110 to 65. We played one good quarter, being the second quarter, and for the majority of the game they held us at arm's length or a bit more, and we couldn't find any momentum, couldn't connect with our forwards. Our mids and our forwards again was a big issue, and you're not going to win many games against anyone kicking 10 goals for the day, and that's exactly what we did. So we come away 9th on the ladder now with two huge games to come. The first one being Friday night this week against the Lions, who are fighting for a spot in the top 4, and then we finish the season, or potentially finish the season, on the Sunday twilight slot against the Sydney Swans back at Marvel as well. I think the other frustrating thing to come from this game is just kind of the reaction to it. It's becoming a bit of a trend, and I really don't like it, and that just tells me that it's rinse and repeat, and I really do start to question what's going on behind the scenes that really is driving change. And the first one is, and you'll see a screenshot, it's Rats after the game, basically being quoted, "We weren't good enough tonight. We weren't good enough tonight." The amount of times that's actually been a caption on the St Kilda social media after a game, not good enough. We weren't good enough, not good enough. It's happened about 4 or 5 times in the last couple of months, I reckon. And funnily enough, on the weekend after the game, they didn't post a caption. They just posted the score with a photo, and that was it. And I really do think the caption was going to be not good enough again. And they're like, nah, we're not going to do that. Keep it blank, and we'll let everyone else comment their thoughts anyway. But that's what we're all thinking. We weren't good enough. But it's just every week we're thinking that now, and it's just becoming a real trend. And Rats knows that, things are bad when they become trends. And so far, that's a trend that I don't like. And the other one is, we've got to get to work. Another one that, Tim Membry's quoted after the game. That happens. I know you've got to get to work whether you're a good team or a bad team or you're struggling, whatever. You always got to work on your strengths and your weaknesses, and that's implied. You don't need to tell us that after a loss. And I might be picking at words a little bit here and might be a bit strict, depending on what you Sainers think, but I just think that too often we hear these messages and we don't see the change, and I'm really getting sick of just reading words and not seeing the impact on field, actions. And they say that actions speak louder than words. Bloody do that, Sainers. I'm sick of saying we've got to get to work. We're not good enough. We're striving to be the best. We've got a lot of work to do. We'll get on the track and work our asses off. That's stuff that's implied. Every team is doing that. So what are we doing that's a little bit different that can get us that, edge on field when it comes to, playing Brisbane on Friday night, for example? What are we going to do during the week? Because so far what we're doing is, I don't really know, to be honest, and we're sitting in no man's land in 9th position. So we need to stop talking and stop getting in front of the cameras, stop getting behind the scenes footage, and just get on the track and actually work. So that's just a little bit that I noticed after the game that kind of just triggered me a little bit. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts, Sainers. Are you picking up on that trend like me, or do you think it's just kind of standard and I'm reading into it too much? BFL was back this weekend, and unfortunately the Cats pipped Sandringham in a very close affair by 2 points, 90 to 88. Continually just losing close games to the Cats is really annoying. Best players for Sandy were Campbell. He kicked 2 goals by Tell, Dean Kent, Tom Highmore, and Nasiah Wanganeen-Malira. Leo Connolly finished with 15 disposals as well. Ryan Burns 1 goal, 15 disposals and 6 clearances. So fairly decent outing there. And Tom Highmore, 21 disposals and 5 marks. So he could be in line this weekend, potentially play against Brisbane, but you'd like to think that there might be a Nasiah Wanganeen-Malira. Even Jack Bytel is a bit more midfield grunt. Those sort of players will be putting their hands up this weekend, because there were a few players that will be being thinking on their performance on Saturday night and thinking, I could have done a bit more there. So we'll see what happens on the training track and at selection table. But good to see Sandy put in a pretty solid performance. Not get the win, but a lot of players put their hands up for selection this week, which is exactly what we want. Now for some signing news and just club news in general. Good news is that Josh Battle has signed on for at least the next couple of years, putting pen to paper on a new contract extension that will see him in Saints colours until the end of 2024. I mean, he deserves this. I think he's been put down back, played on the wing in his career, up forward. He's done it all, and he's that ultimate utility, but I think we've found a good position for him down back at centre-half back. He's been a very good player for us this year. And yeah, I think a lot of clubs would have liked to have gotten into his ear and offered him some big deals to go to opposition clubs, but good to see he's committed for at least the next 2 years. And it's just good to have a tall defender like him, young, good ball user majority of the time, and committed to the club long term. And he's one of those players on field that I think he always gives it his all, whether he plays a good game or a bad game. You know that he's tried his best and maybe it didn't come off or it did. And that's exactly what we want from all of the players that run out in the Saints colours. So great to hear that Josh Battle signed on for the next 2 years at least. And in terms of some farewell club news, our coach, assistant coach Ben McGlynn, is going to be finishing up at season's end. He's going to be moving back home to Mildura with his wife to just raise their 2 beautiful kids. He's been at the club for I think at least 4 or 5 seasons, since 2017 to be exact, and he's been kind of in charge of football development, VFL Alignment Club Sandringham. He's been a coach there, player development programs, and assistant coach for the forwards and the midfield in his time. So I think he won't be the only coach that I think is going to be shuffled around at season's end. I think that's really a big area that I think the club need to look at and improve. Obviously, it was his choice to finish up. We didn't sack him or anything, but I think there's probably been discussions anyway saying, the club's probably told him we're looking at, mixing it up anyway, and this would be a good opportunity if you want to go back home to Mildura. So I think he's taken that on board, and we thank him for all of his work since 2017 as assistant coach at the club. And I hope that, he enjoys his time back home in Mildura with his wife and his kids, and he has a really good time. So thanks to Ben McGlynn for being part of the St Kilda Footy Club, and all the best for the future. Now we talk about Ben McGlynn finishing up, and this is a bloke that finished up at the club at the age of 21 off the back of only 14 games, I believe, and that's Eli Templeton. So we all know, unfortunately, what's happened to Eli over the weekend. He was playing in a local game, pushed over the fence, and landed on concrete head first, and was unconscious for a couple of minutes. The game was called off. It was that bad, I think, before 3/4 time. And the good news is, and I'm happy to report that he's looks to make a full recovery in hospital, and he's speaking, he's going through all the tests, and he's passing the test. So absolutely disgusting events. Fractured skull, supposedly. Send our messages to him and his family and hope that he's going really well now. It happened on Saturday, I believe, and it kind of shook the whole AFL and VFL and just footy world. And you never want to see that sort of event happening in any sport at any level, let alone local level, just playing for his local club. And it could have ended up a lot worse, but really glad that he's set to make a full recovery in hospital. But just sending our wishes to Eli Templeton, mate. So glad to hear that you're okay, and hopefully you make a full recovery. And whether you play football again or not, we don't know, but we're just glad that you're alive and well, mate, in hospital. And all the best, honestly. Tragic event, but our thoughts are with you. Now for the final piece of Saints TV Weekly, player ratings. No questions again. We're getting straight into player ratings. So let's have a look and see what I reckon. So we'll start from the top. Marshall, I'm just going to go quick through these ones because I've fully reviewed every player. And Marshall, again, a very good performance. 21 disposals, 37 hit-outs. One of our top players on the night. I'm giving him a 9 out of 10. Very happy with Marshall's game. Tim Membry, 2 goals, 17 disposals, and 9 marks. Again, very solid performance from Skunk. The 2 goals was valuable, and I think he moved around the ground really well. And this was probably one of his better games for the last couple of months. I'm going to give him a 7. Sharman was great in the first half, missing in the second half. I'm giving him a 6. King, 1 goal, 8 disposals, 0 tackles, only the 2 marks. Disappointing game. I'm giving Max King a 4. Josh Battle, 14 disposals, 1 tackle, solid game. Not not the most amazing game, but not a shocking game. I'll give him a 5. Dan Butler, 1 goal, 11 disposals, 2 tackles. Again, was okay in the first half, not great in the second half. I'm giving him a 5. Hunter Clark, 18 disposals, 7 marks, 3 tackles, was good. I'll give him a 6. Brad Crouch, one of our best, if not our best, 28 disposals, 11 tackles. That to me is a man of the match type performance. I'll give him a 9. I was going to give him a 10, but there were times where the ball use wasn't quite 100%, so I'm giving him a 9. Dan Hanbury, 11 disposals, injured. Hopefully he's okay. I'm giving him a 4. Hard to rate him any higher, given he only played half a game. Jack Higgins, 2 goals, 12 disposals. Solid small forward game, but he laid no tackles, so because of that, I'm giving him a 6. It could have been higher, but no tackles, and we needed some pressure in that forward line. Brad Hill, 26 disposals, 4 tackles, and how many marks? 8 marks. So a very good game from Brad Hill, although a lot of people online seem to be throwing him into the firing line again, but I don't know why. I thought he was quite good. I'm giving him a 7. Dougal Howard, 9 disposals, no tackles. I thought he did okay on Tom Hawkins. Tom Hawkins, I think, I kicked 3 goals, but overall in his first game back, I thought he was okay. I'll give him a 5. Zach Jones came on late. No rating for him. Ben Long, 1 goal, 14 disposals. Very good first half. Pressured really well. Set up a goal. I'll give him a 6. Mitchie Owens, 11 disposals, 6 tackles. Really good first half. Again, second half, I feel like that's the case with a lot of our players. Just didn't live up to the full game and only played 1 or 2 quarters max. I'll give him a 6. 6 tackles is great. One of the higher tackle accounts of the game. Ben Patton, 18 disposals. I thought he was good. 9 marks, 3 tackles. I'll give him a 7. Seb Ross, 23 disposals, was very average early, got better late, but by that point the game was kind of done. We needed him switched on from the start when the game was hot. I'll give him a 5. Jack Sinclair, 1 goal, 23 disposals, one of his quieter games, but he hit the scoreboard, which is great. I'll give him a 7. Jack Steele, 1 goal, 20 disposals. Again, disposal-wise, one of his lesser games, but he still kicked a goal, laid 7 tackles. I'm giving him a 7 out of 10 on that. Jimmy Webster, 15 disposals, very, very average by foot. Got caught a few times, took too long. I'm giving him a 4. Cal Wilkie, 15 disposals, 2 tackles, and 7 marks. Always back Cal Wilkie to do well, and I think he kept Jeremy Cameron to 2 goals. So that's a good performance in my eyes, and he always matches up well on Cameron. So he did that again, and that's I'd give him a 7 out of 10 for that. Winhager, 1 point, 17 disposals, 6 tackles, and 3 marks. I'll give him a 7. And Mason Wood, 1 goal, 20 disposals, 10 marks, and 2 tackles. That to me is a perfect wingman performance. I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. I was very happy with Mason Wood. He kicked it out on the full, I think, a couple of times, but his pressure was great. His marking ability was excellent. Kicked a goal, got a lot of the ball, and his pressure all day was switched on, and you can't say that about a lot of the rest of the boys. So Mason Wood rounds it out with an 8 out of 10. Very happy with his performance on the weekend. So there it is, Sainers. There's Saints TV Weekly with some player ratings at the end. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the player ratings, so comment your thoughts below. Let me know your ratings, if I was way off, accurate, whatever your opinion is. We're always here to share them. Put it in the comments below. If you like the video, please like the video, and most importantly, subscribe. Let's get to 4,000 subs by the end of the year. Only 2 games to go, potentially finals, and we'll see how we go then. So let's hit 4,000 in the next couple of weeks. And the next video will be hopefully the podcast video on Wednesday, Thursday, as well as my big preview of the Friday night final against Brisbane. It is a final. We lose this, season done. We win it, season still alive. So let's see if we can turn up on Friday in numbers at Marvel and hopefully push the boys over the line. But until then, Sainers, enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video on Saints TV. Take care, Sainers, and go you mighty Sainers.